top of the world, about to jump above it. Take it straight to the moon, 'cause we know how to rock it. Ain't no thing you can do, ain't no way to stop it. Now you're feeling it too, let's get it started. Throw your hands in the air while the beat is dropping. Acting like you don't care when everybody's watching. Just keep whipping your hair like that, you got it. Yeah, you're feeling it too, let's get it started. I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Charts off the meter, turn it up, blow the speakers, make them all to believers, break through the surface, tell them open the curtains, give them all what they wanted, yeah, now let's get started. Let's get it, get it. Yeah, I'm ready, ready. I'm ready. Are you ready, ready? I'm ready. Let's get it started. Yeah, yeah, I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Let's go. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it, get it. Let's get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Give me something new. Time to break it loose. Take it to another level. Now we on the move. Shout if you coming with me. Going over the limit. On your mark, keep it steady. So tell me, are you ready? I'm ready, ready. Let's get it, get it. I'm ready, ready. Are you ready, ready? Let's get it started.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for Short Track Racing. It's the Maine Maine Sim Racing Series. Holidays got me all mixed up. Christmas is over. New Year's is right around the corner, and it has been crazy to see the end of the year right around the bend. And this is actually going to be the last race here on LSRTV for this of 2021. What a year it's been. We got to finish it off with some great, that of late model racing for that of the Maine Ductless and Heating and Air for that of the Maine Sim Racing Series, late model series here at Stafford. My name is Sam Dyer. Joining me is going to be that of John Musson Jr. And John, back to short track racing at that of Stafford, a half-a-mile course. We're expecting some great racing here tonight.
Well, buddy, we got them super late model cars on that there Stafford Speedway. We gonna have some fun, boy. I'm looking forward to it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it is going to be a good one for sure. Currently, drivers are having
Wow,
some
Sam.
practice.
How did I not get you with that, buddy? Tell you what, yeah, Sam, this is gonna be great, man.
I'm so excited for it, John. It's been a while since we've been able to cover these guys, and every single moment that we've covered these guys, it has been a fun one. There's been some races that have been there. There's been a lot of yellows, but here tonight, I'm expecting to see some green flag racing. Some drivers expecting to have a lot of fun, but as you can see here at our race information, we have our usual after practice is done here. We've got our time trials, top 15 move on to the featured race. Then we'll have an LCQ if needed, or we'll have ourselves 25 drivers moving on, meaning that we'll have 7 move from the LCQ. But again, that's if needed, if we have more than 25 drivers with a 125 lap race for these drivers. Excited for how the race is going to go. But John, we haven't seen these guys race for a bit, but it's always been that of Devin Landry and also that of Burgoyne that have been the favorites to watch out for. I'm interested to see if they're going to be the favorites again here tonight.
Yeah, Sam, those guys have really put on a driving clinic in the Maine Sim Racing Series. The last few races we've observed with these guys. But I've got it on pretty good authority that there may be a bribe in the works to get those two to start in the back and maybe shake things up a little bit for the feature event. We're going to look forward to see what happens with that. But, yeah, Devin Landry and Matthew Burgoyne, you know, they're both winners. Cookson's a winner in this one. I think he was last race's winner. But those two, Burgoyne and Landry, have just been really putting on a driving clinic when it comes to these late model cars.
Yeah, and Landry going to be the most recent of the late model drivers winning at Hickory. That was the last time the late models were ran. And after the change of the schedule, we have ourselves going to be having the late models here for tonight's race. Then it's going to be another 2-week break. January 12th is going to be the next race, Wednesday night. It's going to be at North Wilkesboro for the super late models. Again, it's switching back and forth on Wednesday on which series they're running. But tonight, it is the late models. Not as powerful as cars, but still got to worry about that throttle control, John. These drivers are going to have a handful coming out of the corners like we've seen at all these short tracks. It's going to be the exit of the corner. It's going to be the most difficult section at all.
Especially here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Very flat turns. They're not like actually completely flat like, say, Martinsville. They got maybe, I think, what, 3 or 4 degrees banking in those turns. But still, when you're screaming down into that turn at about 140, it feels like there's absolutely zero banking on those tracks. So, yeah, exit of turn is going to be real important to get easy on the throttle and let that car settle into the grip before you really trounce down on that pedal.
Exciting racing to be seen, and we're getting word there's going to be a change-up. Actually, the time trials and LCQ seem to be pushed back because we have only that of 19 drivers here registered currently. That means we're going to get to our warm-ups here very quickly, which is going to give us a chance to talk about our sponsors. We have our main racing sponsor. That is going to be that of Beach, that of Ridge Barbershop, but all the other ones, but we got to give big thanks to that at B&S Scrap Recycling, also to that at BCC Bruce Cartier's Carpentry, as well as our race sponsor here tonight, that at Beach Ridge Barbershop, that is Cedar Lumber, J&K Fuel, as well as we've got our main series, mainly ductless heating and air. Thank you so much to all those amazing sponsors, and as well that we've got that at 4-Tier Graphics and Wiscasset Speedway. Thank you to all the amazing sponsors that allow that of the Maine Sim Racing Series to be possible and for us to be covering all the amazing action as the time runs down here for practice. John, we wait for the drivers to get prepared. It seems to be that there is some rumbling that we might just pass qualifying and also the LCQ and just get to our featured event. 125 laps for these drivers, where caution laps will not count for the drivers.
Hey, I'm good with that, man. Let's get it on. Let's do it.
As we wait for qualifying to be pushed back, it looks like we're going to allow the drivers to have a 3-minute qualifying session to see where they're going to be placed on track. So gives a little bit of time to talk about the drivers that are going to be on track, as currently it's the 7 of Ben Burgess. John, we've seen a couple of these drivers a few times. Ben Burgess, one of those drivers that has shown a lot of speed at moments, but it's the inconsistency that's been hurting the 7 this season.
Yeah, well, it's not so much. I mean, yeah, I guess it would be inconsistent with finishes. He's had some bad luck a couple times. Bad pit strategy, I think, one race did him in. So maybe his luck will turn here tonight. He's got a different paint scheme on board. It looks like a little bright green there. We'll definitely be able to see him on track.
Oh, absolutely, as Ben Burgess is going to be second on the board currently on his first lap. Drivers are going to have 2 laps to put down their best times possible for themselves. And all the goal is just get the speed, get up front, have the best qualifying time so you can get that pole position and feel comfortable, as Ben Burgess is going to be finishing out 3rd currently as we go to Ed Conley in the 11. Another one of those drivers that's shown some speed, usually has to fight through the LCQ to get to these featured races, but he's loose and having issues during qualifying.
Yep, and we were just talking about that flat track. Again, it's not completely flat. It's probably a misnomer to say it's flat, but those turns, man, there's just really not a lot of grip in the middle of those turns right there when they transition from entrance to exit. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. That's going to hurt his time, but, it's something to learn from going forward into the feature race.
Oh, absolutely. Is Alan Grass going to be the next driver on track for the 08? And, talking about the banking, I was looking it up of, how much is the banking? I never officially found what the banking actually is, but a lot of websites were saying it's just a semi-banked course. They're just saying there's just enough to say that it's banked, but it's not really enough to say you could just throw these cars into each and every corner. As Grass getting ready to finish up his time, but we are now less than a minute in qualifying, and only 14 drivers have put down a time currently.
Yeah, I talked to a guy that raced modifieds up at Stafford a lot back in the day. The physical, actual real-life modifieds, and he told me they're pretty sure it's somewhere between 4 to 8 degrees, just depending on where in the track you measure it. It's not a lot, Sam. It's really not. You know, when you think banking in a turn, the very least I like to see is like Richmond, you know, but then most drivers like Bristol with all that banking, that 30 degrees of banking you got there, or whatever it is, 28 degrees now. But yeah, Stafford doesn't have a whole lot there. So grip in the corner is at a minimum. So you really want to get hard on the brakes, get that car woed down, let it roll through that center, and very easy on the throttle off. It looks like we're done gridding.
Well, it looks like the drivers are going to be gridding for the LCQ, but the drivers are being notified not to grid for this, so they are right now trying to get the drivers to wait on it before we trying to advance really this session. So drivers aren't really in a spot where they're feeling like they need to get racy, but I got to say, we were on board with Matthew Burgoyne there in the last couple of seconds before qualifying ended. John Burgoyne stealing the pole position in those final 2 seconds of qualifying.
Like a thief in the night, baby. I'm telling you, him and Landry, they've got these short tracks figured out. They really do. It doesn't seem to matter which class of car we're running, either the super late model or this late model here. But they just seem to have a really good head on their shoulders when it comes to these setups and getting these cars ready to go.
That they really do. And I got to say, it's going to be impressive to see, you know, how fast Burgoyne can stay up front out of everyone else. But Devin Landry is going to have to start in the back half of the field because of his win at Hickory. So a lot of work has to be done for that team. But as the drivers are waiting to advance, this session is going to give us a time to step aside for a quick second here, go to a commercial break. But again, big thanks to all the amazing sponsors for tonight's race sponsor, that of Beach Ridge Barbershop, and as well the Maine Ductless Heating and Air. Thank you for all the amazing sponsors here tonight. As we'll take a quick break, we'll be right back for the featured race, 125 laps here at Stafford Motor Speedway.
An automobile purchase shouldn't be hard. The hardest part for the consumer in the whole process should be selecting the vehicle. We have the online credit application. We can bring the car to you to see it, to test drive it, to deliver it. We have all the tools in place, and we've had them in place for a long time. I just think now we've perfected it. It's become part of our culture. We've, kind of taken it to the next level. It is easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun, and it shouldn't take a whole lot of time.
Hey, it's Wesley Outland on the set of the Bull Ring on Speed 51 TV, but I also want to remind everybody that you can keep up with coverage of esports with the Northwest Cup and Truck Series, the American iRacing League, S&B Cup Series, and so much more on your home for sim racing, LSRTV. Of course, remember, you can watch it, and then you can listen to it on CRN, the community radio network at wearecrn.com. Check us out when you can.
I see the green flag waving, but I gotta say that we are not officially green just yet, as drivers are waiting for the advancement of this. Would have been the LCQ, but drivers are not going to have to race for the LCQ. All drivers that were at practice and qualified are going to be moving on to our 125 lap featured race. Again, my name is Sam Dyer. With me is John Mushin Jr. John, we noted on a little bit about Stafford, the banking, the big thing we noted on during qualifying, but what are some other factors that we're expecting to see here tonight?
Sam, I think we could probably maybe discount tire wear. I don't think that's going to be a really big issue unless these guys are getting loose a lot. If they burn off that right rear, that's definitely going to cause some issues for them. The passing lane, there's not a lot of room to pass here because it's really just a one-group track. So you got to set your pass up as you exit one turn, get it going as soon as you can going down the stretch and hopefully finish it either at the start of or midway through the next corner. And you got to be patient. Patient. I can't say that again or enough. Patience. It's going to be, it helps these guys get around this small, almost half-mile track. What is it? It's just a little bit under half mile, right?
I believe it is just a little bit under. A lot of people say it's just a half mile. Some say about 0.48 miles. So it's very close. And so it's just right on the cusp. But yeah, tonight, I think tire wear, like you said, shouldn't be too much of a factor to watch out for. But if drivers do find tire wear being a little bit too much for a featured race, they do have one set in pit road to work with if a caution comes out in the middle of the race, or if someone decides to gamble, come a little bit sooner or later. They could see themselves with an advantage as well. No fast repair, so whatever damage these drivers take on, they're going to have to deal with. And John, it's been a changing factor throughout the season. The first couple of races, this wasn't there, but was added on. There is a 21x limit, meaning any incident points of hitting the wall, going off into the grass, hitting other competitors. If you get too many incident points, you could be disqualified, as you saw drivers going into a warm-up session. So going to be about 3 minutes of warm-up time, John, before we get to our featured race. And drivers will see how well they can do during this little short practice time.
Yeah, they're going to give themselves some time on the track here to get a little bit used to this track. But a couple facts about this track that I don't know if you're aware of or not, but Jack Arute actually is the owner of this track, or one of the owners. His son actually helps own and manage the track now, but Jack Arute's got a long history in NASCAR and short track racing and broadcasting, actually. Some notable drivers that have competed here and won at Stafford Motor Speedway are Jeff Bodine, Ron Bouchard, Dale Earnhardt Sr., Richie Evans, one of the greatest modified drivers ever, Jimmy Spencer, Tim Richmond, Ted Christopher, Ryan Priest, and Martin Truex Jr., just to name a few of the guys that have raced here and won at Stafford Motor Speedway.
Those are some big names that you just read down that have won here, and showing it. You got to have some talent if you want to get it done here at Stafford. I'm so tonight's going to be a fun one to watch. Again, 125 laps. As you see, their car's already kind of having collisions. This is warm-up. Usually during practice and warm-up, drivers are pushing their cars to the limit, and that's why we see, a lot of contact usually happening during this time. But with the caution laps supposedly not counting, that's going to be adding another factor for these drivers. They have to race under green for 125 laps. That could be a huge struggle for some drivers if we get a lot of quick cautions early on.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, fuel might come into this. I mean, I don't know how much fuel they're starting off with, but they're going to have to be real careful with that if they start to get into a lot of cautions that cause a lot of extra laps.
Well, drivers have less than a minute to go, which gives us time to continue to thank our sponsors once again, starting things off with that B&S Scrap Recycling. Big thanks to them, as well as that at BCC, Bruce Collier Carpentry, then our race sponsor for tonight, that is Beach Ridge Barbershop. Then you also got that of Cedar Lumber. J&K Fuel are the mainly ductless in heating and airing. As well as we have that of 4-tier graphics, and finish things off that of Wiscasset Speedway. Thank you to all the amazing sponsors, as we got 15 seconds left here in that of warm-ups. Then we get to our featured race, where we're going to be having ourselves 19 drivers going to be packing tonight's race. John, we've seen a lot of fun racing, but it's primarily been all of that of Devin Landry, Burgoyne. They've been the top contenders. I think tonight we're expecting to see some drivers try to crack into that top tier of trying to battle with those front two. I think one of those drivers to watch out for has to be Max Cookson, but Max Cookson's going to be just like Devin Landry, starting in the back as the drivers are getting ready for tonight's featured race. It's going to be that of the mainly ductless heating and air for the Stafford 125, presented by Beach Ridge Barbershop. Getting things ready. It's time for us to see our qualifying results. Getting the pole position for our Team 126 Racing starting grid. It's Matthew Burgoyne with that of Adam, that of Jocelyn, who's going to be our first row. Row number 2 going to be having that of Chris Burgess, as well as Jason Rickard. Rickard's been a very quick contender to watch out for. Row number 3, we find that of Tyler Jordan, as well as Corey Buvar. Buvar's been another fast driver to watch out for. That outside lane already looking strong. Ben Burgess and also Chris Fortier in the 23. Fortier, fun fact about him, racing on a controller. We'll see how well Fortier can continue on. Tyler Conley going to be in the 32 for row number 5, and Ed Conley in the 11 on the outside. Over to you, John.
Coming in row 6, inside is Ryan Kinnison. To his outside is Cody Childs. Row 7 sees Alan Grass in the 08. Brian Treadwell to his outside in the 48 car. Row 8, Stephen Allen in the 75. Chris York to his outside in the 86. Row 9 sees Max J. Cookson, the 39 car. Devin Landry in the 54. These guys are starting in the back. Kind of a little bribe for them. A little bonus if they do well. Kyle Mooney in the 90 car. Sean Kimball is outside in the 20. And row 10, Sean's not going to start this race. He's just the admin. So Kyle Mooney is actually your last driver on the grid there, Sam.
Yeah, and also, since we got a little bit of time, as they're going to do one more extra lap around, we're actually going to take a look at our weather for tonight's race as drivers are pacing. And tonight's weather going to be something interesting to watch out for because it's less than 100 degrees on track temp, but the outside ambient temperature, 84 degrees. So drivers going to have a little bit of a warm temp, but we'll see how well, with it being mostly cloudy on the track, how it's going to evolve throughout tonight's race, because it could be a lot of changing to worry about. As John, up front, it's Matthew Burgoyne. I'm interested to see how well he's going to do for himself, but Burgoyne looks to be getting himself an EOL, so will not be starting up front. He'll have to go from the back as well. It's actually going to be that watching up front, Chris Burgess, and also that of Jocelyn going to be your front two, as we are green up front with 125 laps here at Stafford. It's all about getting to the inside row. Already some bumping off of one another. Chris Burgess to the lead, as on the backside, Landry and also others got to be trying to make some moves forward.
It's a mean green track right now, man. There's not a lot of grip to be had. 3 wide is not going to work here at Stafford, fellas. Y'all need to get that figured out quick. You know what? It's already a lot of tight racing there, Sam. Whew, my goodness.
It is dangerous, and we're watching the middle to back half of the pack where drivers are at right now. You see the yellow and pink. That's going to be Kyle Mooney, and behind them, it's going to be Max Cookson as well as Stephen Allen, going to be side by side. The 39 driver we're expected to be moving forward, but that outside wall, got to be careful not to be hitting it, as we're still side by side. A little bit of shuffling going on into the corner, and here comes Landry, who holds on to the inside almost. Absolutely running over the 39 of Cookson. It's that aggression and also that balance of patience that these drivers got to find early on in our first 4 laps of the race.
Hey, look, this is not a knock against Devin. He's a great guy. We've talked to him many times. But I don't sense that he has a lot of patience. He wants to get to the front, get that clean air, not have to worry about people messing up in front of him. Right now, that's a big thing he's got to worry about, Sam. He's got to worry about somebody else in front of him getting loose, getting wrecked, and him getting involved in it. So, I'm not calling him impatient. I'm just, there's a car slamming into the hard of the outside wall right there. I'm just saying he doesn't want to be back here very long, and he shows it.
No, absolutely not. I believe that driver getting into the outside wall is going to be the 11 Ed Conley, or it was the 48 of Treadwell. But up front, still heavily pressured, Chris Burgess, not a driver we usually note on being a lead driver, but a driver that's usually up in the top 5, usually aggressive early on, then finds himself in trouble. It's that of Tyler Jordan in the 29, running in second place. And John, Tyler Jordan, he has been having, like I noted on, very aggressive, but has that speed, just hasn't found the balance. And with that aggression, it's cost them on some really good finishes here in these last couple of races.
Yeah, it has. He's gotten caught up in some things. I believe he even got an EOL for aggressive driving a week or 2 ago, didn't he?
I believe so. He just got involved in too many accidents, and so it pushed him back. But I got to say, for Chris Burgess, look at that back bumper. Please don't wreck me on that back bumper. He knows it's possible he can get himself in trouble.
And he's got that please in bigger letters. I love that. Look at that line that Jordan's taking right there through 1 and 2 to go back down the back stretch. He stays up in the groove here. All right, well, he tries to anyway. Look at that. He's down that apron again. These guys drive this track a lot like they do. It's like, say, High Flag Speedway or Southern Motorsports. Some of them try to cut that corner right there, get down that apron, and get a little bit extra grip up off that corner like that. And I did some research for you, Sam. Guess what I found?
What did you find for us here tonight?
I found that our turns 1 and 2 are banked at 9 degrees, and turns 3 and 4 are banked at 7.5 degrees. Not only that,
Well, that makes
here's something really weird. The back stretch is 500 feet long. The front stretch is 550 feet long.
Huh. Well, that makes sense why they would
Interesting,
change
right?
up the banking a little bit. The banking being different on both sides actually makes a little bit more sense why it would be so different. Also makes sense why you hear from drivers feeling like it's different on where they're at, because it is both sides just slightly off from one
Oh,
another.
goodness.
But what's not slightly off is his fabulous racing going on back for this attempt on a back. Seeing that of Cooks and other. Cookson's doing his best to be moving forward. Devin Landry now up to 8th. It is a madhouse on drivers that started in the back half of the field. Now trying to move forward, and oh boy, how did they not wreck?
I don't know, man. That should have been a wreck right there. It just didn't happen. Mooney got real lucky right there. And I was going to say this a minute ago. Landry cracked the top 10 inside of 10 laps. He started back there in 18th, I believe, and he's already inside the top 10. So that should tell you folks something. Keep your eyes on this Devin Landry character. He's on his way to the front.
Yeah, I mean, Devin Landry is currently up to 8th. 9th going to be that of Cookson, and then Mooney's up to 10th. Those are your 3 biggest movers of the night, all going to be up. They started all the way back in last practically, and now moving forward. Newcomer, though, going to be currently running in the middle of the pack up to 7th, and now being challenged, that of Cody Childs. You know, new drivers have been coming in each and every week. It's always interesting to see who the new cats are and how well they can run with the guys that have been veterans and been really on top of the field each and every night as the 94 rides high, and, you know, just saying, well, let's just let these guys go on by.
Yeah, he found a little bit of that outside wall there. Not too bad, though. That car should be fine moving forward. But he's got to be real careful. If he took too much damage on that right front, that will affect the handling on that car and definitely affect the tire wear on it, believe it or not. So, you know, we just watched some of these guys, not these guys here, but some of these cars, these late models last night, Sam, and I was just really impressed with how much damage they could take and just keep on going. They're almost like a little tank out there.
Yeah, they honestly are, and I think that's why they're so fun to be racing on. iRacing, this is what would be the C tier for drivers. Actually, it would be the D class, where drivers are, after they get past rookie, they then get to run these late models, and it is a fun car to race around in. But man, they can be challenging at some tracks. Throttle control has always been in the mind of a lot of drivers when they run these machines. I gotta say here, short track racing, throttle control is always going to be a factor of getting into the brakes smoothly, getting out of the brakes smoothly, and then getting into the throttle so you can get as fast as you can go, and also maximizing your speed as we ride on board with the 7 of Ben Burgess and gain a sense of what the battle for the lead is going on as Chris Fortier getting his feet a little wet up front, battling for that second place.
Yeah, Jordan finally made the move, took the lead from, oh my goodness, from the 47 of Burgess. Chris Burgess is that? I forgot there's 2 of them out there. Yeah, it was Chris Burgess. Ben's in the 7th, right? Well, you know, I didn't even realize they were related until last week. But, you know, you know what I'm trying to say.
We got that of 2 Chris's, we got 2 Burgesses. There's a lot of matching names out here that race in the Maine Sim Racing Series as we're on board with Chris Fortier. I noted on it the 23 races on a controller, so that means all that jittering is because he's trying to keep the steering wheel as stable as he can using a joystick while racing around here, John. It is one of the more difficult things to do, but it's possible to be successful, and we're seeing it here with the 23.
I am so impressed with this guy, knowing now what we know about him using a controller. I mean, I've seen guys use controllers on super speedways like Talladega and Daytona, but this dude's short track racing, Sam, with a freaking controller.
Yeah, it's one of the more... I have tried racing with a controller. It is so frustrating. You have to be so precise, making sure your thumb is stable when you're running these joysticks. And if you're not, you're going to be going off track. But the drivers are being aggressive, and look at that. 39, Max Cookson just threw it into that corner. They're sliding around. These drivers that have been showing that they've got some top-tier speed. I mean, for that of seeing... You know, that of Cookson and Devin Landry moving together, 5th and 6th currently on the board. And you can see Cookson now diving it low, trying to get below the 54. They were the top 2 fastest drivers during practice. And I'm not surprised that they're trying to put down some of the fastest laps and moving quickly up through the leaderboard, and also further back, some other drivers that are trying to be moving up. That of Adam Jocelyn. Jocelyn qualified up front, got an EOL, had to work his way up, now up to 10th.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good out there. You know, you said it a minute ago, these guys are really sliding these cars around a lot in the corners. This track and this car combination, they really do favor a guy that's comfortable in a loose race car. If you're comfortable driving a loose race car and you can drive it without wearing off your tires too fast, you're going to do well here at this track.
I think that's the big thing, keeping that balance of being aggressive, throwing it into these corners, and make these aggressive moves, and make sure that you have enough tire wear to work with moving forward. As now up to 4th and 5th, Devin Landry and Max Cookson.
Wow.
Landry up 14 positions, Cookson up 12. They both did not qualify. Both were told to run in the back, and they are cruising up into the top 5. The other driver that was trying to keep up with him, that of Kyle Mooney, he is stalled out in 8th place. And Matthew Burgoyne, who got the pole position, he is trapped. He got an EOL to start out the race, did not start as our pole sitter, got the pole sitter reward, but he's stuck back in 13th.
Yeah, let's clarify real quick, folks. Cookson, Landry, Burgoyne, and Mooney are previous winners, and they were asked politely if they would like to start in the back. Or I think it was a car spin.
Oh, no.
Ben Burgess is spun around and he backs it into the wall. He said, "Here, let me dent my fender a little bit. I didn't get any damage out of that."
You know, we noted on it, these cars are like tanks. Yeah, I think this is probably one of the longer green flag runs we've been able to have. Our first caution on that lap 28. And we're going to be seeing it here. Kyle Mooney. We noted on the fact that Mooney was a driver that stalled out. Tries to get under the 7. I don't even know if there was contact. We might need a...
Yeah, there was a little bit.
That was super close on both of those drivers. We're going to take an LSRTV aerial view of what happened here. Keep your eyes on the yellow and green and white machine coming into the corner, where this is going to give us a great view of what happened. Going to be ducking it low here. Mooney's getting a great run. I think at this point he's thinking, I can get a chance here. He's at the quarter panel just slightly. Was there contact? Yes, there was.
Yeah. And it wasn't much, but it doesn't take much to really get a car turned around on this little half-mile racetrack. It really doesn't.
No, absolutely not. And drivers now coming into pit road to get service done.
Oh, what
as
happened
other
to
drivers
him?
had gotten some issues for themselves. That of the 8. That's going to be another... one of our newcomers coming in. That's going to be Ryan Kinston, who's going to be a driver with a lot of front-end damage. And I'm actually going back to see what exactly happened to his front bumper, because I believe this happened way earlier in the race. We just didn't capture it for that of the 8. And coming over the radio from race control, that incident, no penalty, going to be given out. It is simply just going to be noted as an issue of a little bit of bubble and air push, so no penalty going to be given out to the 90 of that of Mooney. And for that of the 8 of Kinston, who we saw heavy front end damage back on lap number 2, actually ran into that of Eddie Conley and as well that of Childs when both of them got into the outside wall. John, you noted on it back on lap 2 of a driver getting in the outside wall. It was the 8 that actually ran into Conley there that got that damage in the early going. But up front, lap 28, you're seeing it. Drivers have gotten around a couple of times. Caution laps do not count. We are going to be green for all 125 laps, John. So these drivers still have a long race to go.
Looks like the 48 call of Treadwell might have gotten himself a speeding penalty. He's going to the back of the field, the EOL. But I'm wondering what the tire wear looks like. I wish we had a pit road reporter. Hey, Cody, get out your trailer and go talk to these guys. See what kind of tire wear they had.
It'd be super nice to have that type of information for us at some point to be figured out. Well, you know, I think some drivers might have taken the choice of getting tires, as a lot of drivers came into pit road getting some service done for themselves. Pace car lights are out. We're going to be seeing side-by-side. Dad Tyler Jordan's going to be going to the inside. Chris Fortier is going to be the outside. Stephen Allen going to be we're going to be seeing some drivers stacking where they're at, but up front, we'll see how the driver's going to react. Top 5 did not come into pit road to get fuel. or get themselves tires. But everyone else behind got fuel, got tires, and are ready to go racing. It's going to be side-by-side going into turn number 1. Tyler Jordan wants the track position and wants the lead quickly before everyone else starts to catch up.
Oh, look out. Burgess is sideways coming off the 2 back there. And he's
It's going to be the other Burgess.
The other one. Sorry, producer.
When they got the same scheme,
Sam.
it's so hard. That we are.
It really
Stay
is.
green, and it is madness in the middle of half of the pack as they are trying to sort out where they're going to be placed. As you see Kyle Mooney and others trying to figure out where to place themselves if they want to start moving forward. And this is all the battling currently for inside of the top 10 that we're seeing right now. As also you're seeing that the 83, Jocelyn, moving forward. You see that of Kinston, who was just involved with that incident back on lap 2. And as well, starting to see the movement. Max Cookston, because he took a shorter pit stop, and there's Ben Burgess.
Burgess.
At same spot as the other one. That exit of turn 2, difficult position as we move back up front. Seeing the drivers making some big moves. This is the battle currently for that of 10th position.
Yeah, Rickard's looking pretty good today. We've said his name a few times in the past weeks. He just hasn't been able to string together enough of a consistent run to get the win or even really a podium finish. But, I got a feeling he'll pull that out soon. Meantime, Moody is fighting hard with Kinston in that beat-up 8 car. That car looks like it's frowning, Sam. It don't look like it's very happy.
No, it's not happy at all. When you get front-end damage, it's miserable. It is a miserable time, especially with the drivers not having a fast repair. That damage is going to be something to watch out for. As on the outside, Stephen Allen is trapped and going the wrong way backwards for the 75, who, again, one of the drivers that did not pit, so he's on older tires for some, and just, was one of the drivers for that of Allen, and actually was running further back. So try to go with a net gain of staying out. Currently needing another quick caution to possibly get some tires and equal out the advantage that some of these other drivers have.
Yeah, he's not having a fun time right now. Being stuck on the outside of an inside groove racetrack just blows, man. And we touched on that at the top of the show. This track. Look at that. We got a little contact. And
there goes the 8. He's drifting.
Oh, he saves it.
Woo.
Wow. He may not have taken tires last time, but he's going to have to take tires next time.
Kinston with really trying his best to just stay out there. Already got the front nose damage before, then made contact. The newcomers both collected with one another, that being Cody Childs. It's going to be the driver that initially made the bump with the 8, which credit for the 8 machine of Kinston, who stays out on track and is still able to run even with the drifting that he had going on.
Yeah, another thing he's going to have to worry about is possibly overheating. All that nose damage, that could be an issue with him overheating, wind up blowing that motor because it's too hot.
That is going to be a factor for us to watch out for the 8 moving forward as we move up and see the battling for this of 6th, 7th, and 8th position. Is Matthew Burgoyne going to be now moving up to 7th place following that of Kyle Mooney. And Mooney doing a defensive move, forcing Burgoyne to go on the apron on the entry. A little bit of contact coming out of the corner. John, it is, you noted on it, it's really a one-groove course, so you've got to force the issue if you're going to get underneath somebody.
Absolutely. We talked about that at the top of the show, too. This is not an easy track to pass at. More contact coming off the 2 right there. The pass takes pretty much half the track to get accomplished. You start it in one spot, and you literally finish half the track later. And or just be super aggressive, throw it in there. And you know what they say, 8 wheels are better than 4 when you need to turn.
Oh, yeah, you need all the rubber and all the grip you can get. As we took a little note there, that's where the 39 was of Max Cookston, but now we drop back. It's going to be Corey Bubar in the 12 trying to get by Kyle Mooney. Mooney's done a great job moving forward, but that outside wall, very dangerous currently for himself. But, John, we're 41 laps in. The laps ticking away as we're getting closer and closer to halfway for that of Stafford 125, presented by that of Beach Ridge Barber Shop for the mainly ductless heating and air MSRS late model series. Drivers are single filing out now, but for the lead, it's starting to get hot and heavy as Max Cookston is right on the back bumper of Tyler Jordan.
Yes, sir. Cookston's one of the guys that has won before, so he started in the back voluntarily, all the way up to 2nd place now, and he's got a lot of pressure all over the back bumper of Jordan. Forte saw him coming and he let him go. He knew he didn't have anything for him. And I suspect, I love it. It says, if you can read this, enjoy the view.
Everyone's back
Oh, my
bumpers and their spoilers. They're always having fun. I've seen really, I think Daytona and Talladega, when we see super speedway racing, those are fun bumpers to check out. But these short track guys, they're enjoying it too. As right now, Cookston, he's getting the rear view bumper of seeing Jordan, and he is figuring out how to get some speed. He's right on that back bumper. And John, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of a bump and run here as they are right on top of one another. Just inches. There's a little bit of a bump there, and it's going to be Cookston just trying to get the best launch possible. And the question is, will he just move the 29, or will he just dive it down below him?
I was going to say the same thing, Sam. You beat me to it. I got a feeling there's a bump and run coming. I really do.
And it is short track racing. The chrome horn, always something to be expected to see, but you got to make sure if you're going to make that type of a move, it's clean, and the driver that you're going to give the bump to doesn't have an opportunity to get a little bit of payback. As we're right on the back bumper of Tyler Jordan, you just see how close Max Cookston gets. That 39 working all race long. Biggest mover currently up 15 positions, and now trying to get underneath. Not close enough, as Cookston just has to wait another couple of laps.
Yeah, he's going to get it, though. I see it coming, man. He's really strong. Like we said, he drove up from the back of the pack to 15, 16 cars there. He's got a fast car. That's obvious. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Right in the tracks of the 29 of Jordan there, Sam.
I mean, this is when you get short track racing at its finest, is when you got drivers like this, and then you fall back to the battling for third. You've got Matthew Burgoyne, Adam Jocelyn, both moving forward, and then as well behind them, Devin Landry, who's trying to crack back into the top 10. No surprise, we're starting to see the drivers that's had to start in the back, moving forward and getting into the top 10. I mean, there goes Fortier into the outside wall. That scrub's going to be hurting the 23, especially on the momentum. Bubar's not going to be able to move forward. That scrub's going to be hurting as now Burgoyne up to fourth. Landry's following suit. Jocelyn also trying to catch up, but these drivers going to be too far back. They're about a second, almost a little bit under a second and a half from our leaders that are still following in each other's tire tracks. But the rest of the field still single file out to the most part.
I mean, we could be wrong. Cookson might just be waiting for Jordan to make a mistake. Maybe he doesn't think he has to give him the bump and run. I think he figures he'll probably be able to get around him eventually. And lap 50 is going down right now, Sam. We're not too far away from halfway, buddy.
Yeah, we're not too far, and also lap traffic also could be a factor to watch out for. The first driver that our leaders are going to catch up to is going to be Chris Burgess, and then after that, about 5 seconds after they get by Chris Burgess is going to be when they could really catch the tail end. Chris York, Alan Grass, and also Treadwell. As again, the pressure is just on. We're not even halfway. So for that of Cookson, the biggest thing to worry about is if Adam Jocelyn catches up to the 39. That is, and we see also Burgoyne, Landry, if they start to catch up to Cookson, who we saw sliding those tires extremely aggressive early on. I'm a little bit concerned about tire wear, and also how aggressive are we going to be seeing any of the drivers behind the 39 if they catch up to our leaders.
Well, again, it goes to, is he just giving Jordan a break, or can he really not get by him? Is he being held up by Jordan? I really don't know, but you're right, though. I mean, Jocelyn and Burgoyne, those guys are closing in inch by inch every lap. So we could see a four-car battle here for the lead pretty soon.
And you also see that green and white. That's going to be Chris Burgess in the 47. Going to be the first car potentially going a lap down here, and could be a factor for a potential pass or pick move to be made. It matters on how well Chris Burgess gets out of the way, as you see the very different lines from Chris Burgess, who's just being very aggressive, trying to get everything that he can get, being almost a lap down, kind of a little bit too aggressive, it seems, for the 47. And then you see our leaders basically drafting short track style with one another, catching up very slowly now. But we're only on lap 56, still not halfway, and your top five going to be that of Tyler Jordan, Max Cookson, Adam Jocelyn, Matthew Burgoyne, and Devin Landry. Currently your top five as they run right now, and you can see the lap car of the 47, that's Chris Burgess, who's going to be a factor to watch out for. And then you see the two different draftings that's going on. Tyler Jordan and Cookson got to watch out for themselves, as well as Landry and also Burgoyne pass for third.
Cookson just destroyed the right rear of his car on the wall there. I don't know if you caught that or not, Sam, but I mean, he had a tank slapper and a half right there, buddy. That car came off
somehow
the ground. It hit so hard.
He hit it so hard, but yet still able to continue to run. That is why I think what's more impressive is that he really hasn't lost anything, as you're right on the back bumper of that of Chris Burgess. Again, the driver that is last on the lead lap and could be the factor and the pawn, you could say, for Cookson to try to set up this pass for the lead.
You know what we used to call that back in my day? That was an on-track wedge adjustment. You back and you slap the outside wall a little bit, just to loosen the car up a little bit. And right here, they got the leaders passing up. Chris Burgess. Burgess gives way, gives them lots of room. That's good to see.
Yeah, and I was getting nervous for Cookson because Cookson almost caught the 47 on the exit, but a mistake by Tyler Jordan and his opportune grab for that of Max Cookson. But here comes the crossover move, potentially. Jordan going to be diving it down low, going to be right on the quarter panel, but the exit power goes to the 39. Max Cookson to the lead, leading here on lap 60 for that of the Stafford 125, presented by that of Beach Ridge Barbershop for the Maine Ductless Heating and Air MSRS Late Model Series.
Maybe that's exactly what he needed. He just needed to knock that car around a little bit, loosen it up for him, and he was able to take the lead a lap and a half later. That's fantastic, man. That's fantastic.
Now I think the question is, who's going to be a driver that potentially could challenge Max Cookson? Because now you find the battle for second. Jordan could be falling here quickly to our pole sitter, won the pole sitting position, but it's Matthew Burgoyne who took an EOL and falling back is now into pit road. It's Chris Fortier, and for that of Fortier, he did not come into pit road during the last caution. Gonna have to come into pit road for fuel, and now the question is for all the other drivers that have not pitted, such as Tyler Jordan, who runs in second, also that of the 75 of Stephen Allen, and a couple of other drivers, they've got to keep in mind they might have to come into pit road for fuel. Fuel window that we were given is around 55 to potentially 66 laps for these drivers, meaning they were going to have to come into pit road at least one time here tonight as more drivers come to pit road.
That's Tyler Jordan on pit road. You were just talking about him there, Sam, whether he was going to have to come in or not. You know, I didn't notice if Forte took tires or not. It didn't look like he took any tires.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where the drivers have one set. Some decided to take a set after the first 28 laps. A lot of the drivers that took 4 tires were those that started further back and were actually climbing through the field, and they just did too much wear and tear. So now we'll see who else wants to come in and potentially take tires. With the late models, though, it's not like the Cup car, the Xfinity, and the B trucks, where it's only 12 to 14 seconds to have 4 tires and fuel and you're gone. For 4 tires and fuel, it can take up to 20 to 24 seconds to get 4 sets of tires and fully packed with fuel. So it takes a lot of time and can put you multiple laps down, as Chris Fortier and others that just came into pit road going to be 2 laps down after taking a green flag pit stop.
So, yeah, we got a little graphic there on the left side for you folks that lets you know how many people have taken how many pit stops. So it's like Connolly's the only one that's taken 2 pit stops. Allen hasn't pitted yet, but I think he's going to be coming in shortly. Yep, there he is now. Everybody else has already made their pit stops. So that's a pretty handy little graphic to have. Thank you so much there, Producer Cody, down there in the trailer. We appreciate you and love you, buddy.
And I got to remember, a lot of these drivers came into pit road. That came in during our caution, was back on lap 28. They then ran a couple of laps. Again, those laps did not count. So now drivers got to be concerned of when they have to come to pit road, which drivers that came in during our caution break, they're going to have to come in, or they're going to be having to come in. So all the drivers that are in the top 13 are going to have to come in at least one more time in the next about 20 to 25 laps. You see there, Kyle Mooney, a little bit loosey-goosey for the 90, and he is wearing down those tires, as well as got Childs and Rickard's behind.
Oh, yeah, that car is wicked loose a little bit there. Look at this move. The 94 car down low trying to take that spot with his child in that 94 car. Interesting little combination of camouflage he's got there, I guess, or maybe oil stains. I don't know.
Hey, all the scrub marks that he gets potentially.
Whoa,
Oh, Mooney. Woo! Kyle Mooney holds on. Almost came down on a Childs and as well as into Rickards. And the 90, John, once you start getting heat into those tires, you start getting loose. It is almost impossible to try to cool off those tires. And that loose sensation just gets worse and worse until you come to pit road.
Yeah, look, there he goes again. He's definitely wiggling again. You're absolutely right there, Sam. Once you heat that right rear tire up and get it greasy like that, it's just there's no grip left in it now. So he's going to be fighting extremely loose condition pretty much every corner of the racetrack now. Oh, my God. Look, there he goes again.
It's a struggle coming into the corner and on exit.
It's entertaining for us, but I'm sure he's down there. He's very nervous right now. Not having any fun.
Yeah, no. There's no comfort zone. You are wheeling it, your hands constantly moving, jostling around, making sure you're not in any type of trouble. But I got to say, having the fuel picture to watch out for, that is going to change a lot of things as this battling continues on. Again, this is all that is for that of 6th, 7th, and 8th position, all battling here on screen. And, John, they're almost 3-1 for a quick second there. Mooney, yes, he had a little bit of his wiggles earlier on, but the 90 still pressuring that of Childs and Rickards.
Well, maybe he's figured out how to drive that loose race car. You can always do that, too. I don't know many drivers that can do it too well on the fly, but there are some drivers who are easy to, they're able to adapt their driving style to the car as it loosens up during the run. Meantime, back up front, it's still Cookson, 1.4 seconds over that of Burgoyne right now. You got Jocelyn there in 3rd, Sam. Devin Landry's up to 4th, and Bubar in the 12th car is up to 5th.
12th car going to be in 5th, and then you fall back to this battle again, where we got that of Jason Rickard, Cody Childs, as well as Kyle Mooney, going to be that of 6th, 7th, and 8th. And then behind them, you've got that of Tyler Conley and Ben Burgess. Ben Burgess, who had a terrible run, needed the caution to come out, the 7 in the top 10, having a great rebound currently as Kyle Mooney and Childs continue to battle around it. Just why not just drift it around these corners each time as Mooney still holds on. The more impressive thing is, yes, he's drifting in. This is tearing up that rear right tire, but at the same time, still having the grip to stick and get back on the accelerator. This is a great run and great show by Kyle Mooney, currently in 8th.
I bet he does a lot of dirt track racing.
That is a very good way to learn.
Track racing. Yeah.
This is 0-8.
Throttle control right there.
I mean, you got to be always wheeling and dealing when you're dirt track racing. As you can see that right front, it's tapped the wall a couple of times for the 90. As you see the damage as they get by 09 of Alan Glass. As caution flag waves. Oh boy, this changes things up. It's the 11 of Ed Conley. And this is a worst-case scenario for the drivers that were up front that were forced to come to pit road, such as Tyler Jordan and also that of Chris Fortier. They're trapped for that of Jordan. 1 lap down, 2 laps down for Chris Fortier as we take a look at your Pulse Poppers. It's the replay. And, he got loose and then got finished off. Ooh.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
Now, this is when things get very interesting because if the admins deem that Max Cookson was at fault for taking out the 11 here, could be a penalty of an EOL being sent to the end of the line on this restart for that of the 39 machine. I mean, for that of Cookson. So this is a very important call for the admins on what they're going to do. But I think from our aerial point of view here, John, the 11 was already getting loose. He just got finished off.
Yeah, there was really nothing for Cookson to do right there. You can't just slam your brakes on the middle of a turn on a short track. That's a recipe for disaster right there. So I'd be interested to see what the admins come down with. But hey, in the end, it's up to them. It's going to be their call. You see some guys taking tires there. There's Burgoyne taking tires. 83's taking tires. The Rickard back there in the 9 car, he took tires. So that's going to be interesting for a lot of these guys that are taking tires right now, where they're going to come out on track.
Absolutely, and also on who's able to take a wave around, who's going to be gifted a wave around, as over the radio and just being given, Ed Conley going to be given the EOL penalty for that incident.
Ouch.
So for the 11, excuse me, will be at the end of the line and will be deemed at fault for bringing out the yellow here. Only our second caution of the day here, John.
Injury right there.
Yeah, I mean, he was already going to go to the end of the line. Already was a driver that was the most laps down through 3. And now going to be starting at the very end of the line, where most likely he was going to be anyways, but just the penalties have to be given.
Yeah.
I got to say, though, John, only 2 cautions officially been thrown here tonight. I think that's our biggest surprise, is that we haven't seen more yellows, when I think there was that potential of, seeing a lot more earlier in the going.
Yeah, there was a potential of that, especially at Stafford Motor Speedway, but Sean, the admin of this group, has done a great job with these guys. He's gotten them I want to say he's calmed them down, but, he's done a lot of work behind the scenes to get these guys to understand that it's a long race, There's really no need to be trashing each other, 15, 20 laps into the race, and it shows. I mean, you just touched on it, Sam. This is our second caution in 80 laps of racing on a short track, man. So that's outstanding to me. I mean, these guys have done a great job tonight. They've been putting on one. That's not even saying that the racing is boring at all. The racing has not been boring. We've had fights for the leads. We've had fights in mid-pack. We've had bumping and banging and guys getting loose, but it's been great. It really has.
That it certainly has been, as it is your mainly ductless heating and air for the Maine Sim Racing Series late model. And that has been a great race here at Stafford for the Stafford 125, presented by Beach Ridge Barbershop. Up front, it's going to be that of Ben Burgess, who did not come into pit road. Going to be on older tires and also low on fuel potentially here. He'll have to come into pit road in these next couple of laps, but it's going to be that of Max Cookson. How well can the 39 defend? As, Kyle Mooney gets out of shape, and they're going to be 3 wide now for second place, as Ben Burgess stuck in the middle, and they are going to be forced wiggling back. Somehow we stay pointed straight, but it is a dangerous spot when a driver that's on older tires is trapped in the middle of short track racing.
Yeah, this is where we talked about patience coming in handy here, Sam, but I don't think these guys are showing a whole lot of patience. 3 wide does not work at Stafford. They got very lucky right there, as Rickard's thinking about taking a 3 wide and getting coming off of 2 going down the back stretch.
They're going to be trying to figure out where to place themselves. You're also going to be seeing that of Boobar on the outside, gets by the 7. Also Kyle Mooney, who had a little bit of a scrub now, gets into the outside wall again. The 90 just continuing to beat and bang on that front right quarter panel, and now he's got to be careful, as Ben Burgess as well is going to watch out for 31 of Tyler Conley. They are all just stacked like sardines, and there goes the 7 and the 90. They continue to beat and bang, and now gotta love iRacing's damage model. You can see the donuts now on these late model cars, and more donuts might be given to the 7, as there goes Conley to the inside.
Well, I'll tell you what, poor Burgess, man. Ben is just like, why are you guys beating me up back here? Come on.
I mean, you could tell.
He's
just trying to hold on, John. He's just trying his best in this 7. Ben Burgess falling back quickly, and soon to be back to being the last car on the lead lap if he's not careful.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, he gets a little more contact. He's wicked loose right there. Going to lose a lot of spots right here. You're right. He's really regretting not getting them tires.
Yeah, and not coming in. Oh, boy.
Looks like
smoke issues. It's going to be,
yeah.
I believe, Alan. No, it's going to be Ed Conley, going to be the driver there having issues, as well as I believe the 08 might have been involved as well. It was Alan Glass and Ed Conley going to be your 2 drivers involved with that incident. No yellow gets thrown, as we are now less than 40 laps to go for tonight's race. It's been a good one so far, being led currently by that of Max Cookson, as we see currently battle for 4th place. Buvar and also Jocelyn going to be your front runners for that 4th place position. But our front 3, Max Cookson, Matthew Burgoyne, Devin Landry, 3 drivers at a start at the end of the line. And John, I got to say, we knew they were going to get back up front, but I don't know if this quick, because yellow flies and issues back, and it is a pile up on that of the back stretch, on the front stretch, excuse me.
And they're still hitting each other back there.
And this is going to bring on our 3rd caution of the day. Pull Poppers, instant replay. And this was, we're going to see from that of Treadwell, gets loose, tries to hold on, And oh no, Childs nowhere to go.
Oh.
Hard impact for Childs and other drivers piling in later on, as we'll get an aerial view that presented by Live Sim Racing TV, and we'll see what happened to the 94 after the contact, as I believe that of Childs' engine did end after the initial contact into the outside wall. As take a look from the aerial view here, John, see the 48 get loose, and then it just snowballs from here on out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate too. Childs really didn't have a whole lot to do.
Oh.
Forte got into the back. Wow, there's a lot of just accordion wrecking right there, ARCA braking, if you will, for a bunch of drivers there that didn't have to be involved in that, but just end up being involved in it. Oh, my goodness.
That was a very aggressive slam, and Tyler Jordan going to be in pit road getting service done for the 29. Also, the 8 of Ryan Kinston looked like his engine was blown up. Also in pit road, that of Treadwell getting service. Chris Fortier's into pit road. Childs is gone. Engine has been gone for a while. And with how late we are into this race, you knew that the intensity was going to build up. Drivers were going to try to grab every position possible. But it was more so of the loose sensation that has been hurting a lot of these drivers in the center and off of these corners. And that has been the big trouble for most of the night. I think it's been a lot more of self-spins than actual contact for most of these drivers.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that, Sam. It just, or self-spins that lead to contact, but we talked about at the top of the show. This is a difficult track to get around. It's really, they make it look easy, but it's really a very difficult little short track to get around, especially when you got a car, the kind of horsepower to weight ratio that we've got here with these late models. So, I mean, the fact that we've only had our third caution now, in 8 laps is still phenomenal.
Yeah. It's like third or fourth caution of the night. So they've been keeping it way greener than what we've seen previously in some of these other races, where it has been a caution-filled adventure for us up at the booth of trying to figure out what's the next step for a lot of these drivers. But we do know what the next races are going to be. Stafford, this kind of marks the middle of the season for the regular season for these drivers. But our next race is going to be that of January 12th in the new year of 2022. Going to North Wilkesboro for the super late models for 125 laps. Then Saturday racing, January 22nd. Going to be at South Boston for those drivers. And excited to see how the drivers are going to be reacting for that, because I believe they're going to be in the street stocks for that racing, changing up what cars they've been in. The end of the season, it gets very dramatic on what they're going to be running. But here tonight, drivers got to see who's going to be winning for the Stafford 125, presented by that of Beach Ridge Barbershop. It's going to be up front Cookson, that of Burgoyne, Landry, and as well that of Boobar. Going to be your top four. Go ahead heading into turn number 1. Here they come. This is the closest they've been on Cookson. The best restart possible. The 39's going to have all the pressure. And can he hold on as they go to turn number 4? Already beating and banging off one another. Here comes Devin Landry. The teammates, John, they are relentless going after that of Max Cookson.
Burgoyne got a little bit of the wall there on exit 4 right now. But, yeah, these teammates, man, they work together a lot during the week. They've told us that. They practice a lot. So it's just a matter of time till they work their way up front usually. And here they are, the guys that have, all started in the back. Cookson, Landry, Burgoyne, they're all up front now and looking strong. They are looking really, really strong. There's Boobar in there. Jocelyn's still up in there. Jocelyn's had a couple of close calls tonight, Sam.
Oh, absolutely. Jocelyn qualified very well as, boy. Burgoyne is struggling. Yeah, we noted on the fact that he got into the outside wall after trying to be aggressive on that restart, and he has just been out of a rhythm, been trying to find a step to get moving forward. And at this point, if you don't keep going forward now, you might not have a shot to gain any more positions. We're already on lap 92, coming up to lap 93 of 125. The laps tick away, John, but the battling and aggression is only getting started to ramp up.
Well, he got down too low on that turn right there. I saw it when it happened. He got way too low, got below that yellow line on exit, and that just completely loosened his car up for him there. I think he learned his lesson. I think he figured out where to draw the line at going on the entry of that corner. And there's 29 of Jordan. Significant right front damage on that car, Sam. Not sure when he got that damage, but that could affect the way his car drives for the last bit of this race.
Yeah, I believe that damage actually came from this most recent caution when we had all that pileup coming in. And Jordan had to come in and get repairs done, but luckily, at least on the lead lap, was running up in second. And at one moment, leading this race was Tyler Jordan. He's just hoping to get a top 10 finish. But up front for the lead, it's Max Cookson, Devin Landry, 1 and 2. And this is the closest Devin Landry has been. But you look at the drivers and the best laps that they put down. Max Cookson's been the driver that has put down the fastest lap of the night with a 20.458 second lap time. But this last time by across the line, these drivers, it's Max Cookson who was running the faster lap by that of 1/10, trying to gap himself from the 54 as we're coming up these later stages of the race.
Yes, indeed. And I can't help but wonder if maybe Devin hasn't used his stuff up, trying to get up to the front like he has all night. Maybe he's used up his tires a bit much, because he's definitely losing ground there at Cookson as we go further into this run.
John, we noted on it the fact that these drivers, some of them are looking for a loose sensation. Some, it seems like it's been too loose and looking for tightness. And whenever the drivers have come into pit road, I've seen a lot of drivers like to come in, just top off with fuel. Maybe not taking tires every time that they come in because they've only got one set. You really got to be methodical on that one set when you come in. But taking a full tank of fuel, I think for some drivers feeling like that might be the better ploy to try to get themselves to tighten or loosen up these cars.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that a lot of people realize, that you can not really adjust, but you can affect the way the car feels by how much fuel you take on your pit stop. And I guarantee you, some of these guys had their calculators out thinking, okay, I have to have these many gallons to get to the end, but I would also like to make my car a little bit looser. So, just stuff that racers do to help themselves on track, man.
That's what's nice when you have an actual real-life person being a spotter or a crew chief, which you can get assistance. Here in iRacing, a lot of these top-tier drivers have full teams of people coming in and being assistants for them. Sometimes it's other drivers that come in and help, and other times it's just people that want to be a crew chief on iRacing and help out their friends. As right now, watching the battle for third place, it's Adam Jocelyn, Corey Bubar, and Matthew Burgoyne going to be your drivers that are still in the top 10, but all battling for that a third position currently. And also you can see behind this battle for top 10, Rickard and Tyler Jordan, they're starting to get a little bit side by side as it's 25 laps to go for this field. It's ticking away on who's going to win the Stafford 125 presented by Beach Ridge Barbershop.
I tell you what, they're catching lap traffic now too, Sam. That's going to definitely play into this as we ride along here with Cookson. They've already passed up one lead lap car, I should say, and they got another car. It was, I think, Fortier, who they're coming up on next, right there in front of them.
Yeah, and was hearing the drivers during the long green flag run when we were starting to see green flag pit stops, and it was the wreck between that of Cookson and Ed Conley. I was hearing from Devin Landry, a couple of other drivers over the radio, just saying, lap cars, get out of the racing line, get out of the way, and that's what we're starting to see from some of these drivers that are off pace. They're just getting out of the way as fast as possible, either going into the grass, staying, hugging it out, that outside wall. The goal is not to influence our lead drivers currently, which you'll love to see later on in the race, but I think it's also because of the voicing of frustration from the drivers that have been up front.
Absolutely. As we're watching now, looks like Burgoyne is all over that back bumper of Bubar. Yeah, is it Bubar? That's how you say it? Okay. And he, in turn, is all over the back bumper of Jocelyn. And we've got a three-car fight for third, fourth, and fifth going on right here, Sam. That's pretty entertaining at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a blast to watch. I mean, this is the battle to see who's going to be talking with us in the booth after the race is done and trying to get all the points that they can. This, again, Wednesday for the super late models, and then also Saturday on its own. All three of those events have their own separate points on who's going to get a championship. So every point matters for these drivers, especially for Corey Bubar, who is one of the drivers that comes in 7th in points, but Devin Landry's our leader in points. So Landry just trying to gap himself even further away in all the different series that he runs.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. Points him to death. You know what? These three cars right here look like they're pretty evenly matched. You'll get one guy that makes up ground on one end of the track, and you get another guy that makes up ground on the other track. And it's pretty fun to watch right here. I can't get over that damage that 12 car's got. And he's still running pretty hard like that. Look at that.
Well, you got the front end damage on the
Definitely
12. Yeah, I mean, you got the damage on the 12 on the right front. Then you've got the right rear damage for that of Burgoyne. And then you've got that of Adam Jocelyn, who's just been working all race to get up to the top 3. It is a message of storylines that have been going on throughout the night. And other storylines, the battling for the lead seems to have gotten a little bit closer after getting by lap traffic that might have hindered Cookson just a little bit, and now it's giving Devin Landry a little bit of breath of life here in the last 16, coming to 15 laps to go in the Stafford 125 presented by that of Beach Ridge Barbershop.
Or I think Landry might have just been trying to cool his tires off and wait until we got close enough to the end of the race to try and do something with this leader, because he was just slowly falling back. Now he's slowly pulling it back in. So we shall see as we come down to 15 to go here, Sam. This could be interesting.
Oh, it's not over yet, especially. Yeah, and there's still a lot of lap traffic that is in front of our leaders, potentially could influence us, as well as a caution going to be thrown.
Oh, that's
Ed
definitely
Conley.
going to influence us.
Ed Conley in the 11 bringing out the 3rd caution for himself. Most likely this is going to be parking the 11, but another Pulse Poppers instant replay coming to the final couple of laps, and everything gets shuffled up and changed as we take a look at what happened here. Ben Burgess and the 11, and Conley just got dumped.
Hello.
All right, this is a little bit further back, giving us more context on what happened. Ed Conley gets below Ben Burgess, makes the pass out of turn 4. And in turn 1, still side by side. Gets the pass done, but again, Ed Conley going to be 3 laps down compared to the drivers on the lead lap of the 7. And
hello.
Yeah, I think just a little bit of lack of awareness potentially there.
I plead the 5th, Your Honor. I'm not gonna. We used to call that punting the football back in the day, man, because that's pretty much what he looked like right there.
You know, we'll plead the 5th up here. We'll wait for race control to make their call on that incident, as they're going to be the ones that have the gavel, as we're just up here witnessing all this great racing. Up front, it's that of Max Cookson, as well as Devin Landry, Jocelyn, that of Burgoyne, going to be your front runners currently. Looks like nobody thinking about coming into pit road, which, no surprise, we're in the final 14 laps. It's going to be 13 laps to go when we go green. As that of the 7, just trying to, get in the marbles, burning it down. Oh boy, are we going to see some retaliation here? Are they still upset with one another?
I think they
Ben
are.
Burgess, officially, the 7 was given an EOL penalty. That's why he had to fill all the way to the back, and is a little frustrated, especially with the way that he was being ran by the 11 again, who was 3 laps down compared to Ben Burgess. That was the driver that was still on the lead lap in that 10th place.
Yeah, I'm sure that he's really frustrated right now, but I know somebody's probably more frustrated than him right now. That would be Max Cookson. He didn't want to see this yellow come out.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, this gives now that of Jocelyn a great chance on this restart, potentially to try to make a big move, dive bomb, maybe rattle the cage of Cookson. I think that back bumper, if Cookson didn't have anything written to say, make it stay off of me, I think we're going to see a little bit of chrome horn racing here late. We know that we've seen that at Burgoyne, Landry, when they're side by side as teammates, they race clean until that white flag runs out. But when you're racing against drivers that are allies, just friends, sometimes, if they're not official teammates, you can rough them up a couple of moments as pace car lights are off. We're going to be going green this time by Devin Landry, Cookson, Burgoyne, Jocelyn, Jordan, your top 5, Bubar, Moody, that of Rickard, Conley, and Ben Burgess, your top 10. 13 laps to go, and we go green. Green flag now going to be in the air, and it's Devin Landry keeping it close, still side by side, John, into turn number 1. But can Devin Landry make the pass on the exit of the corner?
Oh, it's going to be hard to do right now. His tires are, just not the best they can be. But that was a great restart by the 4. Look at him diving down to the inside of 3 and 4. Going to try a move down there.
Oh, a little bit of
bumping
contact.
and banging right there.
Oh, what a
Now
crossover move. It's going to be the crossover move on lap 13 into turn number 3, where Devin Landry finally got underneath a little bit of contact. Woohoo! How did Landry hold on? We'll never know, but here comes the crossover move again. Cookson to the inside. Going to be trying to bump. Oh, he puts him into the wall. Oh, boy. Cookson wants this win bad. He's been the dominating car all night long.
Goodness.
11 laps to go, but the racing is not over just yet. Jocelyn now going to have the best opportunity going into turn number 3, but if Jocelyn doesn't rattle the cage of Cookson soon, that 39 could be pulling away here and be no shot for anyone else. 10 laps to go here, John, at that of Stafford.
In the meantime, Landry has fallen into the grasp of Jordan back there. Jordan wants to take that 3rd spot away from Landry. I think Landry's got to cool down, take a couple of deep breaths here. He still got 10 laps. He still has something to work with here. I'm not saying he'll be able to catch the lead for Cookson, but he might be able to. We'll see. But I'll tell you what, he's probably not got a lot of good words to say right now.
No, I mean, you want to race hard with someone and beat in a bang. I think at points, you're hoping you don't just slam a driver into the outside wall, but sometimes your awareness, your goal is just to get back on the loud pedal and get moving as fast as possible. Here comes Kyle Mooney. You're going to be on the inside. A hard contact for that of Bubar. Bubar, who's already got to the wall multiple times already, just piling on that damage on the right side. Well, it's going to be scrapped up anyways after tonight. 8 laps go, coming to 7. Might as well send it here at the end. Again, this race gonna have to be finished under green. If a caution flag waves, it stops. The caution laps don't count. We go back to green flag racing. 7 laps to go. It's Cookson, that of Jocelyn, Landry, Booth. It's gonna be that of Burgoyne and Jordan. Your top 5 as headed into turn 3. And yellow flag waves. Matthew Burgoyne gonna be caught up in this one.
Burgoyne. Oh, and he hit that wall hard, man.
Hard racing, and you're going to be seeing it here. Pulse Poppers, instant replay. Tyler Jordan, Matthew Burgoyne, going to be your 2 drivers racing with one another side by side into turns 1 and 2. And we saw the drivers, that grip level was there, but with these older tires, not anymore. And contact made, and just somehow more drivers were not involved. There should have been at least 4 drivers caught up in that mess, and it was only that of Burgoyne that got the worst of it.
I think there might have been a little frustration there on the part of Burgoyne, 29 car Jordan. We'll see here. Watch this.
Aerial coverage presented by that of LiveSimRacing.com, and here it comes. The absolute just send is going to be, I mean, they're using the brake and they're just using another driver. And this incident was that of Burgoyne just using up Tyler Jordan.
Yeah, a little bit right there, a little nudge, not much though. It's going down into 1 and 2, I think, is where it just gets real nasty.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, he's sending it in there hard, come up and hit him. And I mean, Tyler was out of shape right there, but he ain't getting out of the throttle. It ain't his job to get out of the throttle, So, I mean, nothing against Burgoyne there, but.
I got to give credit to Tyler Jordan. I mean, he stayed on his line. He was going to stay on the racing surface. It was that of Burgoyne that decided to go onto the apron. And when you go to the apron, usually you don't stay there throughout the whole entire corner. You got to come up at some point. And that was what brings out another yellow here tonight. It was 7 laps to go. It's going to be 6 laps to go when we go green. And another opportunity for that of Jocelyn and Devin Landry. And I think at this point, John, Cookson is going to be a little frustrated. I think, if anything, nervous.
What he's got to be. Yeah. Look who's on his bumper for this restart, buddy. Oh, yeah. Oh, this could be a fascinating and entertaining restart, Sammy. Let's say
absolutely. We love to see it. Short track racing. The Maine Sim Racing Series has put on a show Saturday nights, Wednesday nights. It is always an unknown on who's going to be the driver getting the victory at the end of the day. But man, do they put on a show every single night that we're on LSRTV. Tonight's race is the mainly ductless heating and airing late model series for the Maine Sim Racing Series. And I gotta say, tonight's race, Stafford, the Stafford 125, presented by that of Beach Ridge Barbershop. They have not disappointed. Pace car lights are off. It's going to be that of Max Cookson, Adam Jocelyn, Devin Landry, Tyler Jordan, and in 5th place, the 9 of Jason Rickards. We wait for the green flag to be waved, as it's going to be seeing the drivers extending the caution here, giving the drivers a little bit more time to get prepared, stacked up, ready to go, as we are now going to be seeing how they want to stack up on this restart. Still waiting for what and how they're going to stack up, as we're going to be extending the caution. Trying to get amped up here, John. They just don't want to go just yet.
I think they're going single file.
I mean, this is probably the best thing for Cookson if they go single file here, and it looks like they are.
Yeah,
as we wait for the pace car
to worry about.
Pace car's in. We're going green. This time by potentially here. As drivers being told they are going to double file here, so if there are any penalties, it will be cleared for the drivers. So we're going to be going double file, just giving them a little chance for a breather. Oh, they're stacking up, getting ready to go on the back stretch. Pace car's going to be pulling in. It's time for us to see the final 6 laps. The Stafford 125 presented by Beach Ridge Barbershop. It's time to figure out how the mainly ductless heating and air late model series is going to get things done. Maine Sim Racing Series always puts on a show. How is it going to conclude here tonight? We'll find out as green flag goes wave. It's Max Cookson, Jocelyn as they head down into turn number 1. John, who's going to make the move as Landry's right on the back bumper of Cookson?
Oh, man. The 29 just got all over the back of the 83. That's going to give Devin Landry a shot to get the 2nd spot. It's going to give him 5 laps, Sam, to do something with Cookson. And we already know there might be just a little bit of bad blood between these two, what happened earlier. So this is going to be crazy. And it's 2 by 2 back here for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Man, I don't even know what's going on back there. Look at that.
Jason Rickard going to be moving up now to 3rd place. Rickard's been a driver that has been consistent at the end of the race. More bumping going on to the 83. Jocelyn and Jordan just can't get away from one another. And now it's going to be 4 laps to go. Cookson, Devin Landry, your front 2. Cookson continues to pull away, but it's the 83 of Adam Jocelyn. Started in 2nd on that last restart, got trapped on the outside and falling back quickly. But will we see a quick caution? We will. Driver spinning around. It's Kyle Mooney in the 90.
And I don't know how nobody else hit him. I really don't. I mean, wow.
I don't know how people weren't involved with the Burgoyne incident more. And here with Kyle Mooney, you're going to see it just the kind of an accordion effect to see Tyler Jordan by the 90. But we've seen Mooney get loose. A lot of self spins have happened. We'll see if there's any. I don't think there was. Kind of just got in a little bit too hot and heavy and locked her down.
And nobody hit him. He got so lucky right there.
No.
That is not fun.
I mean, that is
wind up looking to your left and see nothing but the front of cars coming at you.
It is a terrifying thing because you don't know who's going to come in and T-bone you potentially. And luckily, no one else involved with that incident. But for Kyle Mooney, he's going to need a heroic type of end to this race. He's going to be falling all the way back to the end of the line of the drivers on the lead lap, which we only have a total of 8 drivers on the lead lap currently with a chance to win, and they're all eyeing this man, Max J. Cookson. 39 has been on a roll tide.
Poor guy.
I mean, he's got up front. He got the better, he went with a shorter pit stop his first time that these drivers all had their first yellow, put him in a better track position-wise over Devin Landry and Burgoyne. And ever since he's had that better track position, he got to the lead sooner. He's been able to hold off everyone else behind. And I got to say, for Max Cookson, great calls on his part. Instead of going with full fuel loads and taking 4 tires and taking all the damage repairs, he's just been taking 12 to 14 second pit stops, which has allowed him with the better track position up front as the control car, gives him a better opportunity to defend is going to be that of Cookson, Devin Landry, Jason Rickards, Jocelyn, Bubar, Jordan. That of Tyler Conley and Kyle Mooney going to be your drivers on the lead lap. Chris Fortier, Alan Grass going to be your finishing up your top 10. And both those drivers going to be just one lap down, as we're going to be going 3 laps to go when we go green, John. And I wouldn't be surprised if we need more yellows to be thrown. These drivers do have 2 green-white checkers if needed.
No.
Just got to give that note.
Don't say that, man.
You got to inform people. Got to let them know what's out there.
Oh, my goodness.
So they do have green-white checkers if needed. But we're going to have 3 laps to go when we go green here. And, John, we didn't see Landry have the best launch here on that last restart. And he was behind that of Cookson. He's now going to be side by side. This is going to be a decent shot here to try to make a pass.
Watch how he hugs. I mean, he literally just right on the door of the 39 last time they were side by side on a restart. We'll see if he does again. If this were real, he could reach out his window right there and just hang on to the door of the 39 car. But, yeah, looks
oh boy,
it's snug. He's going to snuggle in right there from the 39 car. This is going to be a great restart right here, Sam. Here we go, buddy.
Green flags in the air. Going in at turn number 1. It's the Stafford 125 presented by Beach Ridge Barbershop, and it's going to be that of Cookson to the inside of the 39. The 54, Devin Landry. Landry coming in as our points leader. He won the last time they were racing the late models at Hickory. Trying to get another win is the 54. They're still rubbing on one another. And don't look now, the 9, Jason Rickards. Haven't talked about him all race long. 2 laps to go. Who's going to get the win? And right now, Cookson's loving what he's seeing for second. They're side by side coming out turn number 2.
I'll tell you what, Rickard's got the award for Mr. Where the hell did he come from tonight? We have not talked about him much at all tonight. And here he is taking second spot away from 54 of Devin Landry, who we know, Sam, has been strong in this series every single week in and week out. And there he goes, taking that spot away. He's got 1 lap to catch our leader, but I don't think he's going to get it done. And we are on the final lap, Sam.
Final laps in the air, and Max Cookson doesn't see another yellow because out of turn 4, it's the Stafford 125 crown. Max Cookson gets the win and drifts it through 1 and 2. What a run, dominating, and our biggest mover of the night, Max Cookson, up 16 positions, the most out of anyone else, and he had to work for it here tonight. And Max Cookson showed that he was the fastest car, had the fastest lap of the night, and at the end of the day, pulled away as drivers pile it in and have fun here late.
I think the 54 car gave a little nudge there at the end of that race. Did you see that?
Oh, a little bit of a celebratory, little bit of a nudge. Congratulations. Also, a little frustration.
I think the
it's going to be a fun interview.
Fun.
Oh, they certainly are. We'll just get that of Devin Landry's point of view, as here's our unofficial results here for the Stafford 125 presented by Beach Ridge Barbershop. It's going to be that of Max J. Cookson getting first place, with Jason Rickards getting second. Devin Landry getting third, with that of Adam Jocelyn, Corey Bubar, Tyler Conley, that of Kyle Mooney, Tyler Jordan, Chris Fortier, and Alan Grass. Finishing out your top 10. Over to you, John, for the rest of the results.
Coming home in 11th place, Chris Burgess. He had a lot of bad luck tonight. Stephen Allen in 12th in the 75 car. 13th is Ryan Kinston. He got banged up early in this race, and it just did not get any better for him. Ed Connolly in 14th. Chris Short 15th. Matthew Burgoyne, rough night for one of our previous winners, up there in the top of the points as well. He comes home 7 laps down in 16th. Brian Chudwell, 17th in the 48 car. Ben Burgess, Cody Childs, and Sean Kimball will round out top 20.
19 drivers hit the green, and I gotta say, it was a thrilling show. Stafford did not disappoint, but there's still more coverage here on LSRTV. The post-race show, the fireworks were firing at the end, but we know interviews are going to be crazy as well. We'll talk to Devin Landry, Jason Rickards, and Max Cookson in just a few. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the post-race show for the Stafford 125 presented by the Beach Ridge Barbershop. What a show it was for that of the Mainly Ductless Heating and Air MSRS Late Model Series. What a night it was. Got to see that of Max Cookson put on a show there late, but it didn't come without some fireworks. And we go down to third place with Devin Landry. Devin, we saw you win last time in these cars in the late models at Hickory. You come up short for third place, but you put on a heck of a show working your way through traffic. How was it going through traffic for most of the night?
It was pretty easy, honestly. It's just being patient, passing people, trying not to wreck anybody. Really hard around here because the apron, people don't really pay attention. And if you're at the door, they like to chop you. Yeah.
Well, Devin, I can hear a little frustration in your voice, man. Why don't you talk to me about that incident between you and Cookson late in the race there? What was your perspective on that?
I'm not going to put my perspective on it. I'm just going to leave it how it is. Get over it. Move on next week. Can't let it bother me. All right.
Yeah, I mean, talking about the next race that's coming up, late models, it's not going to be until that of January 26th when you head to Bristol. But for the super late models, heading to North Wilkesboro on the 12th of January. How are you feeling about these next couple of races that are coming up?
We're going to go win Wilkesboro, and I don't know where the late models are at, and hopefully win that because we don't want to set me back.
Absolutely. Well, Devin, before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
You guys for running it, or streaming it. Sean for running the show. All the sponsors, Beach Ridge Barbershop, and the Ductless and Heating at Maine Ductless and Heating.
That's going to be the 54 of Devin Landry. Going to be getting third place here tonight. And good luck, Devin, next time that we're running here Wednesday night.
Thank you.
We now head down to second place, Jason Rickard, who we kind of deemed where did he come from, because the 9 has been patient, just lingering, and gets a second place finish. Jason, how was it trying to be patient here tonight, as it seemed like it was a handful for most of the drivers out here?
Yeah, this is kind of a tough track for me, especially the flat tracks and stuff, where you cut the apron a little bit, get the car to turn. Trying to be real patient, save my tires, saving my stuff, learn the track, and just can't finish, just be there at the end, ride around for the first 100 laps or so, and try to stay odd so you get them restarts on the bottom. Really helped a lot too.
Well, Jason, it's like Sam said, man, we were just shocked. I mean, it's like, you were just not really something we saw much of, somebody we saw much of in the race, and then boom, 10 to go. There you are fighting for second place, man. That was an amazing run. What was your perspective on it, like coming up through there, just taking your time and all that?
Yeah, I watching Devin and Matt Burgoyne. He was real fast. Cookie, obviously. Watching them guys kind of duke it out, and we're all in the Discord together and telling me what their tires were. So I knew what my tires were, and I knew I'd been riding a little too much maybe, but it might come out and pay back at the end, right? Have a little more tire than some of them guys. Like I said, trying to get the car to turn but not heat the right rear tire up was kind of a big easy to do, and you had to really be disciplined, easy on, easy off. Just try to get into a rhythm, and a little bit of luck probably helped quite a bit there.
I mean, Jason, we're starting to see you really start to be up front, more consistent. What do you think it's going to take, or is there a track on the schedule that you're seeing that you're starting to circle and say, hey, I might be able to get a win there?
I don't know. I honestly haven't paid that close to the schedule. I've only been on the sim for a year and a half or so now, so it's every track I seem to be getting a little bit better, learning a little bit more, hanging out with all these fast guys. They teach you a lot, what not to do, what to do and stuff. So we're getting there. We're just going to keep trying consistent top fives, try to get 0Xs. That was my only disappointment the other night. I got 2X in the wreck in the backstretch with Matt and the 29 car, the Jordan kid. But just trying to keep my car clean, because you can't race if you're all stove up.
Absolutely. Well, Jason, a great finish, second place for yourself. And before we let you go, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Studio 10, RKM Setup Shop. Always the guys in the Discord, Matt, Burgoyne, Max Cookson. Devin Landry. They're big help. Want to give a shout out to Ben Burgess. He gave me a little extra motivation tonight, putting his name on the back of my car. You guys for always putting it on. The Beach Ridge Barbershop. Them guys are great. Sean, thankless job as always, but he does a great job with us.
That's going to be that of Jason Rickards in the 9. Going to be finishing up with second place finish here tonight. And Jason, good luck heading to North Wilkesboro.
Thank you, guys.
Now we head to Victory Lane with Max Cookson. Max, a little bit of controversy with the moves that were made, but you were one of the fastest drivers throughout the night. You had to work your way from the back up to the front, biggest mover of the night based on where you qualified and where you finished. How was the night for yourself, though, from your position?
Yeah, we just tried to pick our way up through there as quick as we could, and got to the lead there pretty quick after battling with Tyler there for a while, and then just kind of went into conserve mode there, and then had that caution come out and went down. I only took 2 tires. Most of the guys took 4s, and just tried to hang on to it, and then got them a bunch of restarts at the end that didn't help a whole ton, but just tried to stay out front.
Well, Max, that was a great race you put on, man. Great to watch you come from the back to the front like that. 16 spots, to be precise. But I'm really curious as to what happened there between you and Landry coming off of 4, that little dust-up y'all had.
I mean, that's just hard racing for a win, all that is.
Absolutely, Max, and we love to see the hard racing here Wednesday and Saturday nights on LSRTV, covering the Maine Sim Racing Series. But Max, we also saw, with those cautions coming out late, up in the booth, we're just thinking, hey, that's giving more opportunities for the drivers behind you to try to rattle your cage. What was going through your mind in those later cautions that just kept on coming out?
I mean, every time you're leading, you don't really want to see a yellow come out, but it's just part of it, and just gotta get consistently good restarts and try to, those first few laps, just fend them off until you can get a gap, and just try not to really overthink it and just do what you can.
Well, Max, it was a great run. Victory for yourself in Victory Lane. Before we let you go, though, the floor is yours for any shout-outs.
Yeah, I just got to thank Sean for running this whole deal, and you guys for putting it on, and Beach Ridge Barbershop tonight, and I think Night Owl, Greg Emerson, was on the car, so thanks to him. And just everyone for supporting and watching.
That's going to be the 39 of Max Cookson getting the victory here for the Stafford 125 presented by Beach Ridge Barbershop. Congratulations on the victory and good luck in our next race at North Wilkesboro.
Thank you.
Well, John, 125 laps. We had a qualifying to set up where the drivers were going to lie. Some had to get jostled around and get moved to the back because they wanted to see if they can go from the back to win tonight to earn a little bit of extra cash. But it was Max. That was Max Cookson getting the victory done here tonight. Man, what was your point of view here as we're finishing up the call?
Well, just once again, man, I want to give a shout out to Sean Kimball. He's the guy who's putting all these racers on track and trying to get us a good product to broadcast, and I think he's onto something here, man. This was a great race tonight, one of the best. Now, granted, I've only been doing these with you, this is my 4th, 5th race with these guys, but every race is exciting, but this one was it was the best so far. So again, I want to give a thanks to Sean for all his efforts to improve the racing that we see and that we're able to give to our fans out there in LSRTV land. And man, I'm looking forward to the next few races. I heard you say something about Bristol, baby? Hell yeah.
Oh, there is a lot of fun racing action to be seen, but our next coverage going to be that of January 12th. Go to North Wilkesboro, then heading to South Boston. Bristol going to be January 29th. There's a lot, and then we head back to Hickory for that of February 5th. Still a lot of ton of racing to go on, and we cannot wait for more coverage of it. But for us up in LSR TV, thanks, John, for joining me here tonight. This is our last coverage of 2021. What a year it has been. New graphics, new things for LSR TV, and we cannot wait for 2022. Big events that are coming around the corner. You got the Power Eye National Midget Series that we're going to be covering here in January. Excited to be talking more about that series, as well as plenty other of big leagues joining on to the LSR TV brand. We get to cover it all here. So make sure to subscribe, get ready for more action. And John, thanks again for joining me here tonight.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Sam. My pleasure. Look, man, a happy new year to you and your family. All you guys, Cody out there in the trailer, Happy New Year to everyone that's listening. Let's pray to God above that 2022 treats the human race better than 2021 did. All right?
Now we're hoping for the best, but for us here tonight, thank you for joining us for amazing racing action. It was the mainly ductless heating and air late model series for the Maine Sim Racing Series. For that of the Stafford 125 presented by Beach Ridge Barbershop. Thanks for joining me. My name is Sam Dyer. With me was John Mushton Jr., LSRTV Studios, giving you all the great graphics and cameras.